When you will be working the lessons and you will be completing this task, we ask you that you will complete a daily log. And you may be wondering, what is a daily log? We ask that as you go through the lessons, you mark how the lesson went. And you are checking the parts of the lesson that you completed. And if there is a section in the lesson that you modified, that you didn't do, we ask you to write comments in that section. So I will show you what the daily log looks like, but also I will show you how it matches the components, the parts of the lesson, of the lesson that you will find in your teacher manual, into your teacher guide. So I will share my screen for this. And I can see first the daily log. So what are the parts of the daily log? You see now into the daily log, we have lesson components, review, prep 1, lesson 1, prep 2, lesson 2, prep 3, lesson 3, and then it continues. Week 1, week 2, lesson 2, week 3, lesson 3. And it has all the parts of the lessons, all the parts of the manual of the teacher guide. So this means that there is one place for you to record your daily log of how things went daily. And now the lesson parts are on the left. So explanation of concepts and strategies provided, explanation of the meaning of the concept, provision of an example and strategy use, teachers practice reading words. Teachers practice without a, sorry for the error. Teachers practice reading words, modeling. So that's for 2 minutes. So for each one of the sections, you are marking that you did this, right? That this is completed, that this is done. If there is a section now that you didn't do, then you are leaving, for instance, the collaborative practice. For some reason it is not done. We ask you that you write why this was not done. It cannot be that it was not done because I skipped it. I don't choose to skip. Remember, we said we do all the lesson components, and if we need to modify, the only modification will be that instead of doing 5 words, I will do 3 words. And in this case, you will write this on the side. I worked on 3 words, was running out of time. So it is clear of why, in the end, that there was no fidelity. So I say this because I would like to explain that when we see that there is no fidelity, there is a reason. It is not that someone chooses not to teach as is described. We see that there is a reason, and it may be a contextual factor. It may be that the interventionist needs to go to each classroom to select, to take the students, to bring them back into the group. And then even though there is expectation of 45 minutes for small group instruction, in the end, the interventionist has 25 minutes. So yes, they will not have time to complete the task. And that is a contextual factor that needs to be addressed in the schedule. So the schedule does reflect the time that is for the intervention. So it is different than saying that I don't teach with fidelity, because that shows like I chose not to teach with fidelity. I didn't choose. I don't have a choice because I'm running out of time every time. So it is important that you mark what was the reason that you didn't complete something. Because if it is something that is contextual and has to do with scheduling, for instance, it's something that should be addressed when considering to move from one week to the other, because maybe it is finding a different way and different configuration to serve the needs of the students. Because we do know that if we say that we support them for 40 minutes, but they get 20 minutes only, they receive only 20 minutes, this will not support their needs. So going back into the daily log, this is the daily log that you will be using. And then these parts, they really match the lessons that you have. So I will just select the lesson, let's say this lesson. So it is the introduction with lesson objective, the explanation, the reading words teacher model, where you are modeling for the students. Reading words, you continue the modeling with the first word set of 5, then the collaborative practice. So when I will go back into my teacher log, I will check that I did the explanation, that I gave an example, and I used the strategy. that I gave an example and model breaking the words in syllables, that I commented on meaning, that I explained the meaning exactly as it is provided in the manual. You don't need to figure out, as we said, new words or new sentences. You continue to model words. The teacher addresses meaning. So these are the parts that are part of your daily log. But for us, this is the same set of guidelines that we will use when we will be checking for fidelity, because fidelity is not something that it's unknown. In this case, it is adherence to the lesson components and to the guidelines and pedagogical practices that they relate to these lessons. So we want you to have the same daily log so that you know what it is that we're also looking, but you also know and set goals of what is it that it's affecting my instructional time. So that is how you will be completing the daily log. And you can see that it includes all the parts of the lessons that you will be working in your teacher guide. So that is all the information about the daily logs that you will be completing. We only ask you that you complete them daily, immediately after your instruction, because it is really difficult to remember at a later time what you did when you worked on a lesson on Monday. So for every day, make sure that you complete the daily log and you mark it, because this is electronic. So you will have access electronically to it. If you have any questions, please let us know.